Coming to you direct from Silencer Shop Studios, home of the Glass Case of Emotion.
SilencerShop.com, the easiest way to buy silencers online, period.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
All right, welcome to a brand new week of Student of the Gun Radio goodness. And thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy day, out of your schedule to join us. You're welcome.
What?
I think you just messed people up there. I am your host, Paul Markle, and I am in the Glass Case of Emotion Studios, high atop the mountain in Saratoga, Wyoming. Joining me in the studio is Zachary. Say hello, Zachary.
Hello. How are you guys doing today?
Great. That's him. That's Zach the Shipping Ogre. And the lunatic that you just heard from the satellite studio in Salt Lake City is Jared.
I am Jared, and from here we're going to go take Maryland, or whatever he said.
I have literally no idea what the heck
are you
about.
referencing?
Mike Huckabee? Remember when he was doing his campaign speech and he did
that? Wasn't Mike Huckabee.
Or whoever it was.
You're an idiot.
Like Huckabee?
You are an idiot.
Who was it? It was
that was
oh man, who was it?
Are you thinking of the guy from the Microsoft press conference?
No,
it was,
Chairman.
Who was it?
Oh. Oh, jeez Louise.
I'm pretty sure that I'm right.
No, you're not right at all. It was not. Jeez Louise.
Who was it then?
It was. Now you got me messed up.
Yeah, it left my brain and then it came back, and when it came back, it was Mike Huckabee. So I don't know who it actually was.
Quit besmirching the name of Mike Huckabee. It was not Mike Huckabee.
Was it a politician?
No, yeah. Here, hang on a second. I went to Wikipedia. Howard Dean.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why I thought
Howard Dean is the one who thought he was going to be the president.
Yep.
Back then, and the answer was.
That's the only thing I remember, and I thought for some reason it was Mike Huckabee. But that's the only thing I remember.
You keep saying that, people are going to think it was. All right.
Well, if I can make it true, then I wasn't wrong.
You're an idiot. All right. Speaking of, did you see that I saw a thing from recoilmagazine.com, Recoil Online, that said that the DOJ, because the Department of Justice, we can trust them. Aren't they the ones that funneled like thousands of guns directly into the hands of Mexican drug cartels in an effort to bust the cartel up and bring them down? Hey, do you remember when the American DOJ during the Comrade Barry administration brought down all those drug cartels? Do you remember that?
Yeah, they busted them wide open.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because they didn't bring down one single drug cartel with their Fast and Furious scheme. But what they did do is they actually walked a whole bunch of guns right directly into the hands of Mexican drug cartel members.
And they took a giant poopy on some good American people.
Yeah, and then when they got busted, they're like, oh, well, we're just going to throw these people under the bus. Yeah. Yeah, that same DOJ and that same ATF, they're going to re-examine the bump stock devices to determine whether or not they violate the ban on machine guns. Didn't you already do that?
3 times? Yeah.
Didn't you already do that 3 times? So, but you're going to do it a 4th time? What do they expect to find today that they weren't able to find yesterday or last year or 5 years ago?
I hope that they reverse their decision, because then they're going to look like total idiots.
Well,
here's the biggest problem with that is that I think a big part of the reason that they're even redoing this is because a lot of people don't know that it's been reviewed 3 times. And so if they reverse their decision, everyone's just going to go, yay, and move on.
Except for they can't reverse it. They can't. Here's the thing, and this is the scary thing. I don't think that it won't fly under the Trump administration. Thank the Lord. They can't redefine a machine gun as what they would have to do is say, all right, there's no specific cyclic rate for a bump stock device because it's 100% based upon the individual gun. All right, you guys understand that, right? Like and not only that, but it's also based upon the operator. If you've ever watched anyone who bought one of these stocks, put it on and went out to the range, most of the time they don't get them to run fast right away. It takes a while. Right, Jared, you remember we introduced the RPK with the stock on it to a friend of ours?
Yep.
And I'm not going to embarrass the friend, but he couldn't get it done. He couldn't make it run.
Yep.
And we let another guy shoot it, and he kind of was able to make it run a little bit sometimes, but not. This isn't something that you just pull out of the box, grab the trigger, and it goes. Brah, brah. You actually have to have some kind of a. Well, I don't know if it's a skill, but an ability, an innate ability. So how do you regulate that? How do you regulate that? So, I mean, the only thing that they're going to be able to come out and say, and this is like really far off the reservation, is, all right, well, we've determined that any device that allows you to shoot the gun fast is illegal. You're like, well, what do you mean by fast? Well, like, faster than what? It's a mechanical device.
It's a lot like, for those of you that do the barbell training or some sort of fitness, it's a lot like quantifying an exercise. If you can't actually quantify an exercise, then you don't know how much you have to do to stress your body enough to have to adapt and recover.
It's like saying a lot.
Yeah, it's like you just do a lot.
It's almost like you violated community standards, community guidelines. Well, which ones? Just the guidelines.
Yep.
It's like I can arrest you and say you broke the law. Which law? The law. You broke the law. Well, which law did I break? Just shut up. It's the law. So whatever. But here's the dealio. In 3 days, we're going to draw a name, and they're going to be the winner of the Fostech Defendar aluminum bump stock, and it will not ship to Massachusetts. So there you go. Sorry, Massachusetts. Sucks to be you guys. But you brought it upon yourself, so I don't really feel sorry for you.
What about California?
California, no. Can't ship it to California.
New York?
Well, in New York, they're only allowed. Isn't New York? Aren't you only allowed to put 7 bullets in your 10-round magazine?
Illinois.
All right, quit being negative. Let's be positive.
I'm not being negative.
We're going to be positive.
I'm just saying for our
a positive 100% American is gonna win this thing. Jared has a note in here, and I think it's a great note. It is the Christmas season, and it's getting even closer. And if you guys are feeling charitable and benevolent, we would love for you to support our good friend, Matt Dorito, and his group, his organization called Star Treatments, startreatments.org. It's easy to do. You just go to smile.amazon.com and choose Star Treatments as your charity. Now, if you just like to support them flat out, you just go to startreatments.org, and it says help. I'm not sure if it says donate or help or sponsor, but you just got to go there. I'm not going to go to the thing right now. But if you're feeling benevolent and charitable this season, don't forget about our good friends there. And they have a brand new What We're All About video. So if you're thinking, I don't know about these guys, I don't know if I trust them. Well, you can go watch and decide for yourself. All right, Monday, every single Monday for the last couple of years, what we do is we do a Warrior of the Week where we answer one of your questions. And if you're chosen, well, then you get a free bottle of 9mm plus P from our good friends at SWAT Fuel because they sponsor the segment, which makes sense. And if you're not the winner, and it's cool too, go to SWATfuelstore.com. Save yourself some money on your SWAT box by using SOTG 2015. Now, Jared, tell the folks at home what they have to do to be the Warrior of the Week, and then remind the person who's about to find out what they need to do.
If you want to become the Warrior of the Week, simply call the number 844-207-7684. Leave a clear and concise question for us, and if we pick it, then you are the winner, and you win the free bottle of the 9mm Plus P from SWAT Fuel. And to claim that prize, you simply send an email to info@studentofthegun.com and include your name, your mailing address, your phone number, and your email typed into the bottom.
Hello, this is Tom Holyby. I was wondering, I have a bad guy, comes in the house, I put holes in him, no holes in me. How realistic is it to perform medical aid on him? Should I do it, or should I wait for someone like the police or EMTs to administer aid? If I can, should I? If I can't, should I not? Thank you for taking the question. Thank you. Bye.
All right, that is a good question. And this is something that we've been dealing with, at least I've been dealing with on a personal basis for, 10 years or so. How long have we been promoting traumatic medical care, Jared? Like 10 years?
Yeah,
something
for a long
like that.
time.
And, we've been talking about tourniquets and using, trauma gear, whether it's pressure dressings or nose hoses or decomps or whatever. We've been talking about that. And frequently, not so much anymore, because it's, after, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, people are finally starting to get the message that, hey, I should do this. But what I've heard is things like this. I don't need that. I just shot the guy. I'm not going to go do first aid on him. That's stupid. So that's the reason why you don't get the training and why you don't carry the gear, is because you think that it's all about the bad guy and doing it on the bad guy. And I've heard that on more than one occasion. Or people are like, Jared, the other one that I've heard, and I almost forgot about this, was you should not take the training, because if it comes out afterwards that you had training but didn't use your training on the bad guy that you just shot, then you'll get in trouble. You'll be sued. Yes. So, yeah, that logic was, it's better to not have the training, because if they find out that you took training and that you didn't, administer aid to the person you just shot, then you'll be in trouble. All right. Ridiculous gun shop, internet nonsense aside, here's the thing. Your responsibility is to yourself and your family and your loved ones. Your primary responsibility is to them. Your primary responsibility is not to the person who was involved in a felonious action which caused you to shoot them. All right? Step number 1, check yourself for injuries. You say, well, I'm not injured. Do you know that for a fact? Have you actually physically checked your body? I have been in situations where there was a heavy adrenaline dump, and it wasn't until the adrenaline was going down that I looked and realized that there was blood coming out of me, and I could not tell you at what point in time I was injured. No idea. But there I was with blood coming out of me, and I was like, I wonder how that happened. Check yourself. Make sure that any good guys, any friendlies, look for friendlies. Are all the friendlies safe? And here's something that you need to understand, especially when you shoot people with handguns. Often people, when they're shot with handguns, will stop trying to hurt you, or they will, they're distracted because they were injured, and they tend to that injury, or they focus on that injury, but they're focusing on it from a psychological standpoint, not from a physiological standpoint. They're like, ow, or hey, something just happened to me, or I'm going to focus my attention on that. Now, just because they stopped and focused their attention on the injury they just received doesn't mean that they can no longer do you harm. They very well may continue to do you harm, even though they have been harmed. As you approach them, they may attempt to harm you. You are not required to put yourself in continuous danger. And you say, well, yeah, but I know that they're down for the count. Musashi would ask you, is their head within 4 feet of their body? And if the answer is yes, then they are still dangerous. And also this is another big also. So when a human being sinks to the level of home invasions or felonious burglaries or aggravated burglary or what have you, when they sink to that level, what have they been doing up to that point? Probably not living a good, clean life. What is in their blood? Hep B, Hep C, AIDS. I mean, there's all kinds of funky nastiness floating around in these monsters and mongrels' blood. Do you want that blood on your skin? I don't want it on my skin. I'm not going to put my mouth on them. That ain't happening. And let's say you're feeling benevolent. Let's say you're super benevolent and you know for a fact that this person is down to the point where they can no longer harm you. Okay. And you want to do first aid on them. Okay. Bro, if they're conscious, then they could actually grab you, touch you, pull on you, try and grab your gun, whatever. If they're not conscious, all right. But I'm going to say do whatever you think your conscience can handle. But I'm also going to tell you, you are not required by law or morality or anything else to put yourself or anyone else in continuous danger by operating on this guy. Now, you might want to just jump on his chest and start doing CPR. I'm kidding. I would not purposely or deliberately get that guy's blood on me. You don't know what funky nastiness is in that blood, and you sure don't want it on you. So, and yes, if they find out that you took a Beyond the Band-Aid class and you didn't, no, you're not going to be in trouble. No, it's like, quit worrying about being sued and worried about keeping your family and yourself safe. Priority number one, stay alive, stay protected. Call 911, do whatever you can. But just because you shot them and they fell down does not mean you say, oh, but I know for a fact. You know for a fact nothing, Jon Snow. You know nothing, Jon Snow. People do crazy stuff. People that you think are dead, get up and move, okay? People that you think you shot, you say, I know I shot that guy, and he's still jumping around and shooting at me, and what's wrong with his gun? Yeah, sometimes you shoot people and they just don't go down. So, yeah, you're not required to, and it's not about, and that's the biggest thing I'm going to leave you guys with. Traumatic medical care and learning how to do it is not about treating bad guys. It's about taking care of the people that you see every day when you wake up, that you have breakfast with, that you ride in cars with. Those are the people that's why you're doing the course. That's why you're carrying the gear. That's why you're, learning how to do that. It's not so you can run around and find shot bad guys and patch them up. It's so that you can take care of the other people in your life. Jared, you got did you want to mention that? You put the little thing in there?
Yeah, I was just saying that if you guys want to check out the kits that we've made for you guys, Dad came up with, he developed a specific kit. It's called the Pocket Lifesaver. Fits in your pocket. They're smaller than they've ever been. Just go to pocketlifesaver.com.
There you go. Somebody, did you see recently, Jared? This is every time I think I've been blowing my horn too much or talking too much about something, I realize I haven't. Somebody that we are acquainted with very closely, that we've done business with, went on Facebook and said, hey, I'm looking for a medical gear kit that I can carry with me. Does anyone have any suggestions? And I'm sitting there. I'm like, really? It's not like this person is not familiar with us or what we do. And literally, I was just like, what? How is this even possible? I'm sitting over here in my chair thinking, maybe we're talking about this too much. Maybe we're pushing it too much. Maybe by now, surely everyone knows about the Pocket Lifesaver. We don't need to keep talking about it. And then something like that happens, and I realize, well, apparently not everyone's paying attention. Apparently not everyone is heard. And this is, like I say, if it was a stranger or somebody that I didn't know, but this is a person we've actually done business with, saying, hey, where can I get a trauma kit that I can carry in my pocket? Jeez. Oh, I don't know. Really? I'm like, really? I don't know.
And I'm of the mindset that if we believe that our product helps people legitimately, then it is our duty to talk about it all of the time.
Oh, I know it does, because people have already we've had all kinds of graduates and people who have used their kits, beyond the Band-Aid graduates, they're out there saving people, like literally, not figuratively there, Archer, but literally saving people's lives with these things. So. Yeah. Maybe that's why we call it a Pocket Lifesaver. I don't know. All right. Moving on and getting on, because we got more stuff to talk about. Crossbreed Holsters, the makers of the Super Tuck Deluxe, the most comfortable, secure, highest quality inside of the waistband holster you're ever going to wear. Check them out at crossbreedholsters.com. Froglube is green. It's minty fresh. Even if it wasn't minty fresh, it's still green, and it is still a bio-based firearms lubricant. Zach's looking at me to make sure that I'm right.
What?
I'm correct, right, Zach?
Yeah, but bio-based firearms lubricant.
That's right. And you can get it from your favorite lubrication store or outlet. I'm not going to suggest a favorite lubrication store to you. You can decide on your own. But Froglube is a U.S. veteran-owned company. It's made in the USA, and I would suggest that you support them. Century Arms is the sweetest-smelling arms maker in the U.S. of A. They did pick a winner for the Underfolder contest, and they actually picked the winner, and they announced the winner, and they put his picture up on the social media. Now, that's something that they do quite often. They do specials and giveaways and what have you. One of our friends, I can't remember who it was, just pointed out that they were doing a rebate. Was it a manufacturer's rebate, Jared, on the Canic pistols? On the TP9 SF Elite? There was a rebate on the Elite, and if you use the rebate, it was less than $400. Brothers and sisters, that is stealing that gun, because that gun won't stop. It won't stop working. It won't stop. No stopping me now.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. So check them out at centuryarms.com. All right, DuraCoat, because life is too short to have an ugly gun. You don't want to have an ugly gun. I don't want to have an ugly gun. And if you don't want to have an ugly gun, you can use DuraCoat products. DuraCoat products span the full spectrum of bluing and colors and metallic colors and Duradyes, which looks like anodizing, and Durametal and all kinds of craziness. Go to, it's a Lauer, Lauer, weaponry.com, and check out everything they have to offer. You can do it. Brownells, the makers of the Brownells bolt carrier group. Yes. Matter of fact, did you see your Uncle Dave just put up a picture of one of them?
Yeah.
He ordered one. I like to think that your Uncle Dave listens to me. Brownells, that not only do they sell other people's stuff, but they manufacture their own line of products, and they put stuff on sale all the time. Check them out at brownells.com. And I see down here that Jared would like to remind you that right now on studentofthegun.com, we have the Christmas gun advent calendar going, and Jared has been kind and benevolent. If you just jumped in today, you're like, oh, crap, I didn't realize that was going on. You can actually go back and watch all the previous ones up till today. So you're welcome.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a complimentary online training course called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. Get instant access by joining the Student Lounge for free at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of these questions, you are wrong. But you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
All right. H.R. 38, the National Concealed Carry Reciprocity Bill. This is a bill that the shooting sports community and the gun culture and gun people cannot seem to agree on. And not only can they not seem to agree on it, but they can't seem to come to an agreement as what is in the bill, what it means, and what it's all about. We shared it passed last Wednesday, and we shared a link from NRA ILA. That's the Institute for Legislative Action. The NRA ILA is a good website to go to for, to find out. Like, people always have, well, can I carry a gun from Utah to Maine and all the way? I don't know. What are the gun laws? And I always tell people, look, the reason that the NRA ILA is probably one of the best websites out there is because they actually have a paid staff that updates it continuously. There's a lot of them out there, a lot of websites that they put it up once and then they leave it. And 5 years later, what was true 5 years ago isn't true anymore. And the big plus in using the NRA's ILA website is the fact that it's constantly updated. So check this out, Jared. So on December 6th, Wednesday, December 6th, 2017, there's a story on the NRA's ILA, and the title is House Passes Concealed Carry Reciprocity. So we shared that on our official Student of the Gun Facebook page. Somebody jumped into the comments and said that nothing was actually passed and that story is only clickbait. Yes, Zachary, that actually happened. Someone accused us of posting clickbait on our site. And I say, what? Are you really that stupid? All right, ladies and gentlemen in my audience, listen up. When it comes to laws and bills and proposed laws and so on and so forth, in the United States of America, if there is a bill that is proposed that you hear about, someone said, hey, did you hear that there's a bill before Congress to do blankety blankety blank? And you say, no, really? And they say, yeah, it says this and this and this and this. Before you stand around at a gun shop, or you get on Facebook or wherever you like to go and listen to people pontificate about what is or is not in a bill, what you could do if you're an intelligent human being is go to congress.gov. Yeah, there's this little website. It's a public website called congress.gov. And if you go there and you type in the bill's name, like HR 38, like I did, you're like, yeah, but you're a member of the media and you have secret access to stuff that we can't get a hold of. No, actually, that's not true. Every single idiot posting on Facebook about the bill says this and the bill says that and it actually didn't pass and you just think it passed, but it really didn't. Every single person who's saying that, before they say that, they could actually check for themselves. Oh, that's crazy. I know it is. You can actually go to congress.gov, put in the bill's name, and find out. It'll even tell you what's going on with it. So as I speak the words into this black carbon steel microphone, it tells you exactly when the bill was introduced, how many roll call votes it's had, what actions have been taken, whether or not there was any amendments, who the co-sponsors are. And I look at H.R. 38 right now this very minute, and it says H.R. 38, Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act of 2017, tracker, bill, introduced, check, passed House. So the current status, according to the people who actually vote on this stuff, the current status of H.R. 38 is passed House, meaning it goes to the Senate. It maybe, I know a lot of you guys went to public school in the last 20 years, and you have no idea how a bill becomes a law, okay? But it has to be introduced, pass the House, pass the Senate, go to the president for his signature, then it becomes law. I know. And according to this, there has been one amendment. Now, the amendment has not been updated as of the time I'm speaking these words into this microphone. But I'm telling you, before you pontificate, or before you listen to someone, or before someone says, well, I heard it says this, or I heard it that says that, or I heard it does this or that or other thing, why don't you find out for yourself? Is that too much to ask, Jared? Do you think is that asking people too much to actually take the time to read for themselves?
Well, since they can take the time to comment on Facebook posts, then obviously they have too much extra time. Therefore,
I can comment. That's just a bunch. These guys are a bunch of clickbait. That didn't actually happen. Really? That didn't actually happen? All right. Depending. I mean, I don't care where you are on the whole HR 38. I know there's a lot of gun culture persons who said that this is the worst thing we could possibly do. The last thing we want is the federal government involved in concealed carry, that the states can handle it and states' rights. You know what's hilarious is we're in opposite world now. We're in opposite land. The same people who think that the federal government is the arbiter of all things fair, right, and correct, and that if there wasn't for a federal government, the whole country would starve to death and we'd have dirty water and dirty air, and you know, people can't even get up in the morning and wipe their own fannies without the federal government giving them a pamphlet on how to do it. Those same people, the leftists, okay, the liberal left progressives who think that all good comes and flows in and out of Washington, D.C. Well, it comes to the this bill, H.R. 38, all of a sudden the liberal left progressives are like, hey, what about the states' rights and sovereignty? And it's like, that's funny, because every bill you write says, you know, you use the interstate commerce clause to put your hands into American, you know, all 50 states. But all of a sudden, the progressive left has discovered the 10th Amendment and states' rights. I think it's hilarious. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a fight that we want to have. National concealed carry reciprocity for people who believe that you as a citizen have a right. You know, if you believe that the Second Amendment actually is what it says, shall not be infringed, right? You believe that. You believe that the law, the supreme law of the land says the people, yada, yada, shall not be infringed, right? You believe that. Well, there's a whole lot of states in the United States of America that are absolutely infringing on the keeping and bearing. Now, you understand, keep and bear arms is two parts. To keep something, and go back to like Webster's definition, is to own, to possess it, right? But to bear, like Jared, how many times have you ever heard the term the standard bearer? He is the standard bearer for his organization, for his party. We see that all the time in news articles. They like to talk about how this person or that person has become the standard bearer for change, the standard bearer for this, the standard bearer. What does a standard bearer do? What does a torch bearer do? Does a torch bearer own a torch? Well, I'm a torch bearer. Well, what do you do? Well, I have a torch and it's locked in a safe in my house. And you're like, no, that's not how the English language works. To keep and bear is two parts. It means to own or to possess or to have control over. And then to bear means to actually have it on you, to actually carry it, to possess and own it and have it in your control and possession. Okay? So when the state says, well, you can have a gun, but it has to be locked in a safe, and your ammo has to be locked in a different safe, and you're never allowed to leave your house with it loaded. Okay, but we haven't violated your Second Amendment rights to keep and bear, because we told you that as long as you have a card, you're allowed to own that gun. That doesn't seem like keep and bear to me. That doesn't seem like shall not be infringed to me. So by having this public fight, we have moved in the United States of America. We've moved from should people even be allowed to concealed carry to should they be allowed to concealed carry, or should concealed carry be treated like a driver's license? We're moving forward. And ladies and gentlemen, you want the people who are against this, you want the anti-Second Amendment people, you want them to out themselves. We want to know who they are. I've had a lot of, people will send messages are like, oh, well, yeah, passed the House, but it doesn't matter because it'll never pass the Senate because they're a bunch of rhinos. And I said, okay, fine. If the senators are a bunch of spineless rhinos, then make them go on record. Force them to go on record voting this down. Make them do it. And then you'll know, okay, this senator with an R behind his name really isn't a constitutional conservative. They're an inside the beltway politician. All right? America, get rid of them. Arizona, nut up and get rid of John McCain. Where's that scumbag Lindsey Graham from? South Carolina or North? I can't remember where Lindsey Graham is from. Lindsey Graham is a scumbag rhino. And you suckers in that state, get rid of him. Lindsey Graham, I'm looking up that rhino scumbag right now. South Carolina. He was born in central South Carolina. Lindsey Graham is not a conservative constitutionalist. He's an insider politician. John McCain is a lunatic who's off the chain. He needs to go. You know what's sick, Jared? When I looked up Lindsey Graham on the internet search engine machine, it said people who frequent searches for Lindsey Graham also include Al Franken, Nikki Haley, John McCain, Marco Rubio. Wow, I wouldn't want to be in that company, would you? Ugh. I hope no one ever looks up my name and it says frequent searches Al Franken. That's not right. But here's what I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, stop being afraid of this subject. Stop being afraid of it. And stop listening to people who tell you that something's there and it isn't. Find out for yourself. And if you think the bill is rotten and you think it's crap, it's your responsibility to make sure that your representatives know your thoughts. Don't sit around crying on Facebook when you haven't done anything. You're supposed to be in charge. Now, speaking of being in charge, I've got a story, and I knew this was going to happen. As soon as H.R. 38 passed committee and went to the House floor, the leftists started squealing. They started squealing and like this little stuck pigs, because that means that American citizens can actually follow the principles of the Second Amendment and keep and bear arms. And that would also mean that these hardcore leftist progressives who think that you are a peasant and a plebe and cannot be trusted, that kind of cuts into their authority. And progressives don't like that. They don't like to think that the people, guns are for me, not for thee. Guns are for our bodyguards and for our police and for state employees. They're not for you peasants. They're only for you peasants if we give you permission. So hot on the heels of, National Concealed Carry passing in the House. Yes, Facebook posters, it actually did pass. We got a story here from the NewYorkPost.com, NYPost.com, and the title is NYC Bigs Blast Republican Gun Bill. Uh-oh. We have angered our betters. Those who know better than us have become angry. What are we going to do? Story by Joe Tacopino, December 6th, 2017, posted at 11:56 p.m. All right, we got a picture here of a man who is bald, and his name is James O'Neill, and he looks indignant, like he's not a happy man. Republicans pushed a bill through the House Wednesday that would make it easier for gun owners to legally carry licensed concealed weapons across state lines and into cities like New York. Uh-oh. His Majesty is displeased. The Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act would allow gun owners with any state-issued concealed carry permit to carry a handgun in any state that allows concealed weapons. The bill, strongly backed by the NRA, goes to the Senate, where the GOP holds a slight majority. The move was blasted Wednesday by New York City law enforcement authorities at a press conference in Times Square. Like I said, the king and his minions are displeased. You better stand down. New York City's well-recognized success in the continued decrease in shootings and murder is in no small part a result of effective gun control on our... Jared, where's the gun control? Where is it? Where will you find the gun control?
On our streets.
On our streets. Thank you, Zachary. Yes, according to NYPD Commissioner James O'Neill, the gun control is on the streets. Woo! And James O'Neill isn't finished yet. He is still displeased. Any measures that would contribute to the increase of firearms in New York could only jeopardize the level of safety that New Yorkers have benefited through effective gun control. Hey, Jared, isn't it the NYPD that has been indiscriminately just like shooting up the landscape and launching bullets into innocent bystanders? And then when they do, they say, tough crap, you shouldn't have been standing there. Isn't that the NYPD that did that?
Yep.
I thought that was. On more than one occasion, the NYPD has negligently launched bullets into bystanders, and then when the bystanders got their feathers ruffled, they send their lawyers out to say, sucks to be you. I guess you shouldn't have been standing there. Is it not the NYPD that was sued for standing on the other side of a glass subway door while a guy was getting hacked and slashed to death? He didn't die, but he was getting hacked and slashed with a knife by a maniac. And after the victim subdued his attacker, then and only then did the NYPD come out from hiding and help him out. Yeah, and the victim sued the NYPD. And what did the New York State Supreme Court said? Oh no, you didn't actually ask them for help, so they can't be held responsible. Yes, the court said because the victim, despite the fact that there were two NYPD officers right there on the other side of a glass door, despite that, the victim was not entitled to compensation because he did not specifically ask them for assistance. You're like, Paul, you're full of crap. I don't believe that for 1 second. Oh, there's a book coming out written by someone who looks a lot like me that details that in great detail. So know this, ladies and gentlemen, for all of you out there who are unsure about H.R. 38 and National Concealed Carry Reciprocity, if it makes our slave masters and our betters, if it makes the elitist government officials in New York City nervous, and if they don't like it, there must be something good about it. All right, cats and kittens and all of you kids out there and the Student of the Gun listening audience, I want to thank you for joining us today and being a part of our audience. Remember, you're a beginner once, but what should you be? You should be a student for life.
We appreciate appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.